Hello everyone, I'm Debbie Polachek. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making some background paper, and this will be great to use like I'm behind a sentiment or something like that. So anyway, let's get started. I'm using my our watercolor paper, and this is some that I made some flowers out of, and I'll kind of go over. I have a video how to make these flowers, but I had a couple things that I did different on these, so I'll tell you what they were. But today mainly is about this background paper that we're going to make. As you can see, they're shiny and pretty. And so let's get started on this. First of all, I'm going to take some water, my fine mister here. I'll leave an Amazon link to one of these if you'd like to have one below. And I'm going to hit some water on the top of that. Now it's kind of pulling up a little bit, not bad, but a little bit. And I'm going to use our pigment sprinkles on it. And my aim here is to put with light colors together, like yellow, gold, green, blue, pink. No, purple, then pink. I'm going to put those in those orders. That's sort of kind of a rainbow colors together here. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit. And you can see it since I wet it. Kind of little lines. Because I want to keep the colors kind of not too much with each other, but some kind of separated a bit. That one got put together. Okay. Now I'm going to take my mister, and I'm a good foot away from it. And what I'm trying to do is just kind of trying to get all the, so I don't see any of the powder anymore. Just the powder turns into a color. Okay, now I'm going to move it this way and that way a bit, and then I'm going to see if I want to move it any other way. But I don't really want to move it too much back and forth, because I don't want these colors to mix together that much. But I would like to have some little runny lines, you know, like this, how it's kind of trailing off. Now that went across there, but that's okay. It kept its shape pretty good. And if it's not running a little bit, I can squirt more water on there, and I think I will. Not much though. I don't want it to work together too much. See, I'm getting a little line there. Go back this way. Like to have a little bit more wetter in here. Maybe a little bit wetter on there. Kind of getting some of that extra ink. Getting it on my paper towel here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a straw and I'm going to blow it around. Because of the technique I'm doing now, I'm not trying to get it all covered, but I'm trying to get a pretty good coverage of color. You know, I'd like to have some few white spots, but not too many. If you wasn't going to do the technique on top, it would look pretty cool just to leave it like this. Once you flatten it out, it stops moving as much, especially if there's not so much water on it. If you get too much water in it, it'll just start puddling up. Okay. Kind of like that. Now, I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm going to dry it completely. I'm going to turn off this volume for you and speed up the film so you don't have to hear this thing. But I'm not trying to move it around too much, so I'm trying to stay away from putting the heat real too close to it, because I really want to kind of stay where it's at now. I got it where I want it, and I want it to stay there. So if I get puddles and that it's not drying out, I can go ahead and take my paper towel and just kind of pull up some of that water. Once you get some of this dry, like this dry here, and these little puddles right here, it'll give you kind of a cool effect where it kind of, I think they call it bleed back. It'll start making little, another little dimension inside of these colors here. I think you'll see one in just a little bit. And so I want to kind of have that happen if I can. Okay, this is dry enough I can flip it over. Looks like a piece of hair or something got in there right there. That's kind of cool too. These are all those bleed back areas. What happens is the paper's dry around here. There's a puddle and it just bleeds back into the situation, and it causes that kind of a cool looking ridge there. Take a look at that. Some cool areas in there. See how that kind of bled back into there? That pretty? And this is where I think a piece of hair or something got in there. Okay, now this is pretty dry. Versamark. If this wasn't dry, it would definitely mess up my pad here. But I really don't want to use my dirty pad because it will dull down this area here. And I'm just tapping it all on there. I didn't worry about powering it because I want it to be everywhere. And I'm going to put clear embossing all over that. Turn on my heat tool again, get that warming up, and I'm going to heat emboss all that. Okay. Now that to me is both this and that is both very pretty by itself. Now if you wanted to soften the background like before we did the embossing here, you could put a piece of vellum on top of it and make it a softer background than what we had, which might be a good choice depending on what you're putting on top. But anyway, it's nice and shiny and very pretty. But we're going ahead and take it another step further, and I'm going to dry emboss it with the Parisian folder that I've been using most of the time. I'll leave the link below about which one that is. And I'm going to emboss it with that, and I'll be back. That's the way it looks again now. Another pretty look. Okay, now we're going to take the embossing folder. And this is the part where I said that the texture is nice to have, because when you rub this against through it lightly, you don't catch so much of the background that you don't want to get. You kind of want to stay, the embossing, the Versamark to stay on top. Catch the high points of the folder. Okay. Now this time I'm going to take my white embossing powder. Now you can try any color on top of this, the golds or something might be pretty. But I kind of wanted to do the white. Okay. I'll turn my embossing on, and I'm going to do it again, emboss it again. Okay. That's the background. It looks really cool. It looks like there's a piece of glass underneath that embossing powder. Now to show you how to make this flower petals. This is just like the poppy flower. I will leave a link below how to make a poppy flower. All I'm going to show you right now is just the difference of making that flower and this flower. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make my balloon punch. I'm going to use the small one. About 1.5 inch strip of cardstock. One long strip. And you just go through, push one, punch one. This small one is for the size of this flower. And this is like a 2-inch flower. Maybe even a little bit bigger. And you just go through and cut 6 of these for each flower. For this flower here. And then you will come back with your little 1/2 inch punch. And just nip this inside. Try to hold level as you can. Just dip it on the inside a little bit. It kind of gives you a little dogwood petal leaf there. I think a dogwood has kind of a pink area right in here, and the rest is kind of white. Have to research that to make sure, but anyway, that's how the shape of the leaves are. And then you would just take your bone folder, hold it real, and start off kind of slow. Don't try too hard. Don't push it too hard and bend it too fast. Just start off slow so you'll get a nice smooth line. And then you would go on the tip of it, go the other direction. And that'll give you these leaves like I've done here. Thank you for watching the video through its entirety. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.